99X in the Morning X. Before we get out of here, let's sleaze one more time. It's presented by McDonald's. The best part about working at McDonald's is the people.
Wow, a lot of Olympics news, I guess, opening ceremonies. Friday, we talked about Celine Dion making a comeback, performing one song. How about this story? Adidas apologizing for a recent ad campaign starring model Bella Hadid. Yeah, they're actually apologizing. I think the commercial has actually been pulled. A lot of controversy. In short, critics of the ad are asking why Bella, who had frequently voiced her support of Palestinian causes, she was chosen as the face of the campaign for a very retro sneaker linked to the 1972 Munich Olympics. If you remember that, 11 Israeli athletes and one policeman died after a Palestinian terrorist group attacked the village. So after the recent ads were met with a lot of criticism, they pulled the ad.
Somebody
An unintentional mistake.
Do their homework.
Was not thinking.
Yeah.
Crazy. I don't know what's going on with Whoopi Goldberg, but did you see about her new book, her comic book, The Change?
No.
She turned menopause into a hero. 25 years after her own menopause journey inspired her to write this book called The Change. It's a superhero who gained power through embracing menopause. Quote, I've always loved comic books since I was a little kid, but none of the comic books seemed to speak to me, so I wrote my own.
Wouldn't that work better as a 50-year-old woman and not an 80-year-old woman?
Following the story of Isabel Frost, a black woman who, after spending life as a wife, a mother, and a grandmother, finds new strength in aging. This woman has superpowers gained through menopause. Barn, do you want me to buy that book for you? It's called The Change.
She's only 68. Please, put that on my Amazon list.
There was also another controversy story about her. Did you see when she was talking about spreading her mom's ashes on Disneyland rides by faking a giant sneeze?
Come on, that's gross.
Her mom loved Disneyland, so we took her there.
I know, but you got to go do that and just blow it into...
Scooping some of her up?
That's just not...
Pretending she had a cold by faking a big sneeze? Is that even legal?
I don't even know. To blow it around people are all around there? Just, come on. Just go have a sacred place.
Oh, guess what? There is some sort of vindication now for Kevin Costner.
What?
I mean, you saw, Horizon and Independent Saga, Chapter 1, because there's more chapters, did not do very well at the box office.
Bombed.
Maybe because it was 3 hours. But guess what? It is now top of the video on demand charts. Number 1.
Really?
Beating out Kingdom of the Planet Apes, beating out the Garfield movie. So people are watching it, video on demand.
That is so strange that it would be number 1. I mean, you have to pay the real nut. Like, you're paying like $20.
And I have done that with many movies because, you're in the comfort of your own home, right? And maybe people are like, 3 hours, I'll sit at my home for that, but not in a theater.
Wow, that vindicates him just a little. I don't know if that helps with part 2 coming out in the theaters.
Yeah. We had talked about some things returning, like Presumed Innocence got renewed at Apple TV. Did you ever watch The Old Man on FX? The
Old Man? No, who is that?
This is about, an older FBI agent.
Oh, I did start that.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, the reviews have just been amazing. It's on Hulu, and it's about Dan Chase. And, of course, who is the actor? It's Jeff Bridges, and he's so good in it.
I started that show, got about maybe an episode in, and then it's just one of those ones that there's so much competition for shows. It just didn't pull me in all the way.
Well, I was going to ask you about that because there's a lot of stuff that people are now watching because I guess they have more time or they're in between. Will you definitely put that on your list, please?
I really need another COVID time where we can just shut everything down so I can catch up on my freaking recorded shows.
I love this story about Casey Affleck voicing regrets about a younger Casey Affleck. Have you seen this story?
No, man. His brother's kind of overtaken the news cycle.
Let's not talk about Ben. Let's talk about Casey. There's a podcast called The Hollywood Reporters, It Happened in Hollywood. And he's talking about his movie. It was like 2007, the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Now, that was a big movie. Brad Pitt was in it. He got an Academy Award nomination. He's now admitting he wishes he had been more gracious. Quote, I was chewing gum at some award show and people said, who does the little punk think he is? Like he's on camera chewing gum at the SAG Awards.
That's the story?
And he said, I wasn't taking it seriously enough. I realize now that I could have been more respectful because it does mean something. He's just talking about his younger self, that he was kind of a punk. He wishes he was more respectful.
I just can't believe the news cycle is picking that up. I know it's slow with Ben and everyone's like, mum's the word.
I know.
They just need an Affleck headline to try clickbait you.
I know.
Dude's like, oh, I just felt bad about that appearance 37 years ago at the award show. Okay.
But you know what? Sometimes you do look back at your younger self and you're thinking, man, I'm in Hollywood. I'm surrounded by these legends and I'm kind of acting stupid.
It has to be weird to look back for those people and think, man, I was in a massive moment and I didn't even realize it.
Okay, I am all about this. Are you ready for the new biopic? Remember Miss Cleo?
The Jamaican lady who was on like in the middle of the night?
Mm-hmm. Set to premiere a new biopic. Miss Cleo, Her Rise and Fall. This is happening August the 10th on Lifetime channels, delving into the life of Yori Del Harris. Didn't we have her on back in the day? She was the 90s television psychic.
She died in 16. I just looked her up. Hadn't heard that name in a minute. You know I will watch this.
Yeah, it's her journey from being a single mom struggling to make ends meet to becoming this iconic figure on the Psychic Readers Network.
She wasn't that old either. She was born in 62.
Well, I'm all ready for this.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
I seriously loved her. I seriously love this. You know, I love Nicole Kidman, but I didn't realize she has a badass fitness routine. Joey King, who's in that new movie with her that you saw on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Joey opened up in a new interview and said Nicole taught her the most epic, awful butt workout I've ever learned in my life. It was like so intense. She couldn't keep up.
Well, she takes her clothes off in almost everything she's in, so she's got to. She's forced. Maybe that's her method, the madness to her method.
She looks gorgeous.
Does she know she's going to strip down?
You go. I thought this was sort of eye-opening. You know who Eric Roberts is, right?
Yes.
Eric Roberts says he's not supposed to talk about his famous daughter and sister. Yeah, he was in a conversation on Still Here in Hollywood podcast. He was asked about Julia Roberts. He goes, you'll have to ask her. I love my sister, but I can't talk about her. She doesn't want to talk about it. And then his famous daughter, Emma Roberts. My daughter told me also not to talk about her, but I stumble and do. I'm not supposed to talk about either of them, but I do. What?
If they weren't both so successful, I wonder if they would have the same tune.
It's kind of sad. Do they not have a good relationship with him?
I guess not. Remember how, though, she was just not friendly the one time we met her at some event in Vegas? We're like, hey,
Emma
we're from Atlanta. Julia. And we're like, say hey to Smyrna. She's like, yeah.
Don't want to talk about the past. Or Eric. That is your Celebrity Sleaze.